Hi, I'm Peter Houston, and this is my Kitchen Circus video. First, a little bit about myself. I came to Seattle about 15 and a half years ago to join Microsoft, and I'll never forget the night that I got my job offer. They said, go to the Fish Cafe in Kirkland to think about it. And I remember thinking to myself, wonder what's good? And I asked the waitress, and she said, you've got to have the seared scallops. And I will never forget how wonderful it was that night. And I decided right there, I have got to learn how to do this myself. So that was the first night in the journey to a love affair I have with scallops. Now, I've been lucky enough to have scallops in a lot of different restaurants here in Seattle, like Rover's, Mistral Kitchen, and every time I do, I ask if I can go backstage and learn the secrets. And what I'm going to do tonight is make seared scallops with a corn nage with the techniques that I've learned from these wonderful chefs like Thierry Rotero and William at Mistral Kitchen. So first, my mise en place. I have my scallops fresh today, and I've dried them because the secret to a great scallop is to make sure it's perfectly dry. Vanilla salt, some olive oil, secret ingredient, white wine, and some butter. First thing I'm going to do is heat up my pan. This pan, by the way, I bought this just because I thought that is going to be great for cooking scallops. It's high carbon steel, holds the heat, and I'm going to get this as hot as I can. So first, a little bit of oil, throw that in. And what I found is it's great to get a little bit of brown on your scallops, and sometimes that is easiest if you put just a little bit of butter into the oil. If you put too much butter, then when it gets hot, it burns. So just enough to get the brown you want and the taste you want, but not too much. So now I've got the oil as hot as I can get it without burning the house down, and it's time to start cooking. So the very first thing I'm going to do is get the scallop, and here's one of the big secrets. You don't put the scallop in the pan, you place it in the pan. Now it's nice and dry, and I'm going to gently kiss it into the hot oil. You can hear that nice sizzle, and the thing we're going to do is make sure that it can move it around, because if it sticks, that means it's going to burn and we're not going to get that sear. The white wine, well, here we go. So now the scallop's finished and it's time to plate. We take our bowl, we take our scallop and place it in. One thing I like to do now is add a little bit of salt. This is special salt. It's vanilla salt. We learned the other night at a restaurant how great this can be with seafood. We made some, we sprinkle it on top, and you think, don't you put salt on before you cook? No, it's that perfect bite on your teeth and that extra saltiness you get when it's just there at the end. Now, I mentioned earlier, we made some corn nage, fresh corn from the market, vegetable stock I made for the way that Thierry likes to make it, the way he taught us in one of his classes. We put it around the scallop like that. Not too much. It's not really meant to be a soup. It's just meant to be a nage. And finally, the last ingredient, just a tiny bit of truffle oil for taste and aromatics. There we go. And this is my seared scallop with corn nage. Bon appetit. Well, I have to tell you, that is damn good.